Hi everyone, my name is Nicola and I am simply a stitcher. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, it's great to have you, and if you're returning, thank you for coming back and spending some more time with me. So today I'm going to do a stitch with me. This will be one with some chat and catch up on my lovely comments. And I'm working on She Sleeps, which is artwork by Stephanie Pui-Mun Law, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and I'm stitching this 2/1 on some 20 count Aida. If you saw my live stream on Sunday, I worked on this then, and if you've not seen my live stream, you can always go back and have a look at it on replay. So I'm going to crack on and do a little bit of stitching, see how far we can get this hour. I've done 100 so far, so let's see how many we can do. This one does tend to be a little touch slower than some of my other full coverages, but excuse me, it's still an enjoyable stitch. Lots of pinks, beiges, creams, peaches, browns in this one, and yeah, currently just over 13% through. So it can be a little bit difficult sometimes to get the needle through the hole because it's 2/1 on this 20 count. Although having said that, I actually find it easier to get the needle through 2/1 on 18 count, which is, I mean, obviously that's a sort of a slightly bigger, but 20 count is one of those fabrics. Do a 2/1, do a 1/1. Next time I think I'll be going 1/1. Anyway, we have a few comments today. I'm starting with the ones from my floss tube number 68, which was not last Tuesday, the Tuesday before. So I've got about 12 days worth of comments to catch up on. So all being well, there'll be a good lot. So if you remember, the main focus of floss tube 68 was the topper that I did for Matilda's postbox. And the thumbnail of the video is her unveiling it. And yeah, we had a lovely reaction from doing that. So first one is from stitching Betty Nos or Nose, and she put some daisies, some daisy emojis. And then we have Clara, who put a lovely long comment. The crochet topper looked beautiful on the post box. It brought a large smile to my face. Such a delightful act of kindness for Matilda's family and anyone else who has a loved one buried there. And then she goes on to say, "Oh, your stitching looks gorgeous. Yes, get some rest at work." Yeah, the title of that video was "I'm going back to work for a rest." It had been quite the week off. My feet sort of barely touched the ground. And it was a case of I'm pleasing everybody else and not doing a lot for me on that particular week. Then Betsy Crowther, who says, your supper turned out fabulous. You're indeed a kind, generous and thoughtful person, and I'm grateful that you share your lives with us each week. Your life with us each week. Thank you, Nicola. Very welcome, Betsy. Thank you for your lovely comment. And then Sharon Marie, thank you for sharing. You have been busy. Project's looking good. The crochet is fabulous, lovely gesture. It certainly made its mark, I think. And I did enjoy doing it. It was nice to dust off my crochet hook after quite some while there. Curly Crafter says, my hair looks fantastic and a great update. Yep, the hair is staying. I'm keeping it short. It's been so easy to manage. Don't get me wrong, I look like sometimes like I've got up in the morning and have my fingers stuck in a socket because it's all stuck up. But, you know, it doesn't take much to tame it. When my hair was long, I used to have a lot of problems with it because it was so long, and I just kind of used to keep it tied up. And then, you know, brushing it out and washing it and drying it and so on was just such a chore. I don't have that now. I'm so happy. And Norma, who says, you have so many creative talents, loved your crochet topper and lovely progress on your whips as well. Thank you, Norma. I do knit as well, but I haven't knitted in a while. I suppose, again, it's like riding a bike. It doesn't really leave you. Yeah, I mean, of course, with it being very wintry at the moment, it's the time for doing sort of nice errands and cable knits and stuff. Keep me warm. And when I used to knit jumpers, I used to knit them down that little bit longer. So, because after the first couple of washes, they sort of tend to ride up a little bit, to shrink up a little bit. So I always used to knit them with a little bit of extra length to the bottom, so that when the inevitable shrink happened, they were still long enough and kept me warm. So top tip there, if you're ever knitting something like a jumper, put, you know, I used to put about 10 extra rows, I think, which equated to about a couple of inches, depending on the size of needles I was using. Mrs. Miggins says, all your projects are really coming along. Yep. Postbox topics fabulous, and Andy had a bit of a cough. She says she hopes he gets better soon. He is better. Have a good week. Here you Sunday. Mrs. Miggins does join in on our lives. which is lovely. It's become like a big friendship circle. You know, we have, you know, between anything, it can bob between about sort of 25 and sort of 38 people at maximum in on these lives. So I get some quite good numbers. And, you know, we have a nice chat. And sometimes I do go off at a tangent and ramble a little bit. But yeah, I do like my lives. And, you know, speaking of lives, if you've not seen it, bob over to my community tab. There's a post about future lives. So Stacey Highfill posts on live stream number 10 and says, Envy's looking great. I can't wait for you to start working on her hair to see her come to life. That's one of my favourite things when stitching, is seeing the images come to life right in front of you. Well, by the time this video goes out, my weekly floss tube will be out, and Stacey, you will hopefully have seen that I have made some progress on Envy's hair. Oh. So Stacey also asks alongside that on my, let me just move the camera a touch, on my floss tube. And she's talking about my stitching shelf. Your stitching shelf is coming right along and looks great. If I recall correctly, you use the Lowry stand. Do you use the frame adapter when stitching on such a large scroll frame, or do you have a different setup for large scroll frames? I'm going to be starting my first Hage of the year on a 28-inch scroll frame with my Lowry stand, and wondering if the adapter would be beneficial. And what size scroll frame is it for stitching shelf? Right. So my stitching shelf scroll frame, I think, is a 30-inch one. I think. It's been a moment since I ordered it, but I'm pretty sure it's a 30-inch frame. I can have it on my Lowry stand, but I do need to rest the other end of the frame on something. So to be fair, because of the size of the frame, I just sort of have the frame on the arm of my chair, on, you know, over my knee, and then sort of resting on my little table. I have the little table that, you know, that you see me do my unboxing on. That little table sits in front of me on the sofa, and it, you know, when I'm at the sofa, and it normally has like my laptop on it and my mug of tea and my few odd bits of stitchy trantlements, as it were, so scissors, my big knitter's needles, my crochet hook sat on there for a bit, you know, that sort of thing. So I kind of balance the frame between the arm of the sofa on the right and my table on the left. What I would say to you, Stacey, is see how you get on. See if you can find some way of sort of balancing it without the adapter, but you might end up needing the adapter for it. But, you know, hey, there'll be January sales coming up soon, I'm pretty sure. Well, kids are going into school. I can hear the squealing outside. I'm not sure if it's unhappiness because it's quite cold and it has been snowing, although the snow has turned to sort of a sleet now, so it's not quite as bad. Solar Winds. Solar Winds comments on a fairly old video, Stitch With Me 18, where a stitching shelf I'd sort of just started it. And Solar Winds says, I love the head design you're working on. I'm thinking of getting the pattern to kit up. Yep, do it. It's lovely. Lovely colours. So the story of you and Andy was a good one, and I'm glad you're happy together, because back on that video I must have been talking about how me and Andy met. The first guy didn't sound like he was the marrying kind. Yep. I found that it's good if they leave you, especially when obviously you'd given them your very best whilst they did not. Yeah. It means it's all on them and you get your life back. That's the way my marriage went. I gave it all I had, and when he left I was tickled to death to be rid of that albatross. Good riddance, I said. Every day afterwards I was filled with joy. Got my life back. Happy days still. I've never looked back. I've never looked back either. Me and Andy, you know, we have our moments, we have our disagreements, and sometimes our fights, and we can be irritable with each other, but we are a team, and we do work together well as a team. You know, we do a lot of things, you know, we spend enough time together and enough time apart, if that makes sense. Because, you know, the pandemic was kind of really a test, as I'm pretty sure it was for most couples. You know, how strong are we? Can we live on top of each other and work here and stuff and not, you know, break anything, which we managed. So, yeah, I couldn't be happier than I am with Andy in my life. And, yeah, it's nice that life has settled and it's found a nice pattern. All right, if I dug out the right card. Try and dig out 3685 instead of 3865. It would have made a huge difference. One is a deep ruby colour and one is winter white. Mrs. Miggins comments on the Stitch With Me with Sailing Fairy. Thoroughly enjoyable Stitch With Me. Come on, poke through. Thank you. Regarding the weight loss, it is brilliant. Great stuff. Thank you. Lost another, well, I'm up to 3 stone 4 pounds lost now. I hope you're able to get some stitching in over the weekend. Looking forward to unboxing video maybe next week. I still haven't managed to get my unboxing video done. That is on the list for this week. I have I had a busy week last week. We had some overtime at work, so overtime is kind of critical at the moment. And his car, or the car, should I say, our car, going to cost me £700 to get it through its MOT. Not what I wanted this side of Christmas, but hey, what can you do? The work needs doing, so it's going in on Thursday to have that done. And then, all being well, we should be fine. Okay. Clara also comes in on that Stitch With Me, as we were talking about her stitching shelf in the previous Stitch With Me. Previous chatty Stitch With Me, should I say. Come on. That's it. Just get this thread out. I enjoyed watching the stitching. My stitching shelf is the same as yours, regular size Max Colours. I did, however, order my floss for Daughter of the Deep. That one is supersized Max Colour, so the floss was not cheap. I do have some floss cones, so I do save some money there. Yep, cones are brilliant if you can get them. Of course, in the UK, they're not readily available, but I understand in the US you can order them. But they are, you know, only available in sort of certain places, aren't they? I bet she's yet to find a cone of 939. I also want to order floss for one more full coverage. Yay for overtime, the money comes in handy. I remember those nice checks when I was working. I do enjoy listening to you read everyone's comments. It makes for a lovely stitch with me. Yeah. Come on, thread. Why are you not threading? That's it. Doing that talking to my stitching thing again. Yeah, as I said though, sadly the overtime money is already spent. Having a car these days is an expensive hobby. Unfortunately though, it is a necessary thing to have. Come on, through you go. Esther comments on the Strokina stitch with me. It says thank you for sharing, no problem. Sue Landriel. Hi Sue, hope you're well. Thanks for another great stitch with me. She's got 214 stitches in, but I could only register 176 because of the frog. Oh dear, I made a boo-boo a few stitches back. Oh well, tomorrow is another stitchy day. I hope you had, happy to hear you had a good trip. It's nice to get away from home and clear out the cobwebs now and then. Yeah, absolutely it is. Because my house is also my place of work for a portion of the time, it's definitely good to get out. With Christmas not far away, I'm spending less time stitching and more time making gifts. The shopping part is completed, but I have a bunch of boxes and bags to make for gifts to go in, as well as cutting, vinyl and so on, printing a few odds and ends. Hope we get lots of time to stitch. Can't wait to see your progress again. Sounds like you've been very busy there, Sue, with your Christmas makes. I ought to try and sort of do some more makes for Christmas. I don't tend to. So Sharon Marie comments on my Strokina. Just mark these off, I don't want to lose my place. That looks like a lovely piece to stitch. Hope you didn't hurt yourself falling over and saw the funny side. Yeah, I didn't hurt myself. I was more annoyed. I was annoyed with myself because I hadn't seen the camber. But yeah. Are you going to keep your hair at that length? Yep. I think you should. I kept my hair really short for yours. Yep, for years, sorry, it's so easy to style short. Yep. I'm finding that it's so much easier to care for. Washing it, drying it doesn't take long. It's definitely beneficial to have it this length. Oh, Sandy, my lovely friend. Sorry not commented lately, but the flu has really knocked me for over 3 weeks. I know we touched on this in our live, Sandy. I'm glad that you're better now. Flu is not pleasant, you know, on any level. There is, you know, even a mild dose of the flu can be debilitating and unpleasant. Thankfully back to normal now. Wow, I love the hairstyle and well done you and your continued weight loss. Please can I be #1 on your retreat list on your table? I've enjoyed all of your videos and the live streams. Have such a varied and interesting and informative chat. I love all your projects. I've just started my first pain-free kit, Daydream by Heather Edwards. I'm doing it for my granddaughter, who's 16 in September, so maybe a challenge. Take care, happy stitching. Yeah, Sandy, you can be first on my table. No problem at all. A lovely lady. 7, 5, 8. I will have a look in the new year at sort of doing some retreats, I think. You know, perhaps sort of somewhere in the Midlands, Nottingham, Derby, Leicester, you know, somewhere that's easy and central to get to. Have a look and see where I can find. Obviously no promises, but you know, if I can have a look at doing some kind of retreat. I gather there's waiting lists for retreats, and they are very popular things. And you know, of course, I'd do whatever I could to try and keep costs down and so on. But you know, yeah, we'll have a look. Tina tries life. Hi, Tina. Stitch there. Well, hi all, wonderful stitching as always. Your idea for a retreat sounds like crafting heaven. I've booked on the big stitch next year in Sheffield, a first ever stitchy retreat. And I'm looking forward to it. Yes, I do need to get my ducks in a row about the big stitch. Try and get, you know, see if I can sort it out myself. Because I think I haven't got a ticket. And I would hope that I can try and get one. For at least one of the days. Because Magna is not far from me, where it's going to be. Not far at all. 152. 152. Excuse me. So we were talking about my amended live streams as well in my last Chatty Stitch with me for over Christmas and New Year. And Sharon says, I doubt very much I'll be able to live on Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve. Normal service would resume following weekend. If you want to bring the time forward to 7:30 p.m, that would work. If you organise a retreat or stitching day, I would love to attend. It would be really great if it focused on full coverage as well. Super duper. Okay, that's that stitch. Yes. These colours are all so close. Can be a bit of a pain sometimes with them being close, but hey, it gives the full effect of the piece, doesn't it, when it's done? On my live stream number 12, Rose Holman just simply says hello. Hello, Rose. And then Kelly, in response to your questions, I'd not be available Christmas Eve, but definitely available New Year's Eve. and the earlier start time works. Yeah, I think that earlier start time in the new year is going to definitely be a good thing. Vulcan Stitcher 1701 on my floss tube 62 says, oh, the Lord of the Ring one, I'd love to do that one, it would look good finished. Keep up the great work. I think that one, we were talking about my stained glass one, if I remember correctly. Which I'm hoping that once, you know, the big sort of bits of black are done at the top, I want to sort of try and put in some colour. I will still colour complete the black, but getting some colour and have it one out on a stitch with me, I think. MVC agrees obviously with what I've just said there, because she says on floss tube 69, I'd love to start seeing colours on your Lord of the Rings stained glass. Yeah, so I do think that, you know, next time it comes out, if it's on for a stitch, if it's out in time for me filming a stitch with me, I will start and put some colour, I think. So again, on floss tube number 69, Mrs. Miggins says, you look amazing. I can really see the weight loss in your face. Hope things are sorted with Lauren. Take care. So just to a little bit of context, as I was filming that stitch with me, Lauren was emailing me from school. She'd had an issue with another girl. There had been a physical altercation. And Lauren, this was on the Friday, and Lauren went into the school on the Monday and was put into isolation for her part in it. Rightly or wrongly, I don't know, I wasn't there, but I trust in the staff that the teachers take appropriate statements, and the class teacher had even told the investigating teacher that Lauren had used some unpleasant phraseology towards this other girl. And Lauren expected that I was able to intervene, and I was not. And, excuse me, she found that very difficult to accept. And I've had to be very firm with her and say to her, look, I'm not overruling a school. End of. The school are quite entitled to set out their sort of, you know, isolation, punishment, whatever you want to call it, as they see fit. And as a parent, I put my children into the hands of the school and trust that during their education time, they will look after them appropriately, but also deal with them appropriately for bad behaviour. And there's nothing I can do that can override that. And I have to tell you all that it did continue throughout the whole of the day, and even until Lauren got home. And Lauren was not very fair. She went to other family members and told them that I'd done this and I'd said that, which I obviously hadn't done. But, you know, a younger person's view can be very coloured because they have their own ideas of how it should be. Needless to say that Lauren had a bit of a schooling in that bad behaviour cannot go unpunished. And I won't tolerate her, the kind of bad behaviour that I heard about her doing. It was absolutely not on. And she was reminded that at all times when she is not in my house, that she should be behaving properly and decently, and she certainly should not be using some of the phrases and language that she had used. Anyway, so Sharon again comments, Sharon Marie, sorry I can't make live. Sundays are spent with my parents, and I'm not usually home till 8:30ish, but I do try and catch up with it over the next few days. That's absolutely fine, Sharon. I understand. You know, hey, you know, I don't have parents, so spending time with your parents, I would tip my hat. It's very important, I feel, to spend as much time as possible, you know, with your family, because tomorrow is not a guarantee. So yeah, nothing objectionable from me there on you spending time with your family and your loved ones. Do so. Thanks for sharing your progress with us. Hope Lauren got a kick up the bum for her messages. That one made me chuckle. She did. A little kick up the bum, a gentle one, and a reminder that a gentle kick up the bum, but a firm reminder that school are in charge, not me. And I won't tolerate bad behaviour. I love my kids to the moon and back, says Sue, but I'm forever grateful that they are in their 30s and have moved away for some time now. They're no longer trying to push limits or impress their friends at my expense. Yeah. Hope all worked out with Lauren. Always love to see the gorgeous progress on your whips. So I always love to see your progress on your whips. They're all beautiful charts, and it's a lot of fun seeing them come to life when you stitch them. Yeah. I haven't got a whip that I don't love. Some I love more than others. This one took a little bit of getting into, but yeah, I'm beginning to love it now. And then the other Sharon Fennell, comes on and says, kids, don't you just love them? One day they'll realise. Yeah, as long as it's not too late when they do, Sharon, eh? And Esther says, thank you for sharing all your beautiful projects. No problem. How many more comments I've got? Patty Miller. Patty says, hi Nicola, I hope you and Lauren worked everything out and you're back to being a fully happy household. Your pieces are looking almost as lovely as yourself. Oh, thank you, Patty. And she says, happy stitching. You know, I'm so glad I have such lovely friends. You know, I really am. Clara says, so sorry about Lauren's behaviour. I do remember those days with my son. It's not easy, so you hang in there. Please don't allow things like that to steal your joy and your smile. I'll add Lauren and Hannah as well as you and Andy to my prayer list. I'm hoping you're okay now, by now, since I'm watching your video late tonight. Your stitching is beautiful as always. Please take care and see you when you stitch with me. Thank you, Clara. And then this one is a mouthful, and I apologise in advance if I do butcher your name. Sandra Mara Carval Hodimelo says, Nicola, great, beautiful embroidery. And that was on my autumn waltz. Thank you very much. I really hope I haven't butchered your name. I'm not bad with names, you know, that have, you know, Spanish or Italian influence to them, but I still worry about butchering them. So I put out a Stitch With Me with my Realm of Middle-earth map in it this week. This week just gone, should I say. I happily stitched along with you on my Frida, which is called Woman 3 by Unconventional Cross Stitch. Artwork by Heather Galler. It was fun watching you stitch in some of the curvy lines on the map. Catch you Friday and hopefully see you on the live. Yeah, those map lines certainly came in on that Stitch With Me. That's the fun thing about the Lord of the Rings, the map, because those lines add sort of depth and dimension, but they don't come up on every page. So, you know, I mean, the next sort of couple of pages I do might be just pages of nothingness, you know, just background sepia colours. And then all of a sudden, I'm back into map lines again. So it's certainly fun. I rarely look at the mock-up for that map, so, you know, seeing those lines come out is lovely. Oh, excuse me. Oh. When I say rarely, I don't look at it apart from opening it when I'm doing a floss tube. I have a feeling that this week's floss tube that you will have seen already will be woefully short because I haven't worked on an awful lot. But all being well, I'll make up for that with a unboxing. My prize is still sat next to me waiting for me to hook up the camera again and crack on filming it. And then my last comment was again from Kelly, and we did pick it up on my live stream because she asked if I would talk about it. And her question was, concerning Heaven and Earth designs, I wasn't sure if it's something you could address on the live stream. I'm doing a Haid by Sandra Cook called Angel and Kitten for my granddaughter. I'm disappointed in the colouring of her face and arm. They're a strange tangerine stroke brown colour, not natural skin tones at all. I contacted Heaven and Earth Designs and was told that the colouring was called sepia tones. It's my first Haid with a person in it, so I'm wondering if this is typical. Up close, the angel's face and arm look really strange, but further away, she actually looks quite nice. If this is too involved, then you don't feel you need to address. And of course, we did talk about this on my live stream for Kelly on Sunday. So for those of you who don't join the lives, which is absolutely fine, no problem at all, I've stitched a couple of Haids with faces in them, and of course I know that a few of the other ladies and maybe even gents who join in on the live stream have also done so. And sometimes the colouring just looks completely out of whack. When I stitched on Avarice, in Avarice's face, there were lots of burgundies and deep reds and garnets and browns and stuff. And it didn't really look like it was making sense when I was stitching it, because I was like, how can somebody's face have red in it? And I also had a look at my Envy mock-up, and on her forehead there's a patch of what looks like a lavender colour, but also under her chin there is a brown splotch. But when I look at it from a distance, it makes sense. So my advice to Kelly, and which was also backed up by other people in my stream in the live chat, was that sometimes the colours don't make sense. You're stitching it and you think, wow, this looks super weird. How on earth is this going to, make sense? But completing the area and then taking a step back, because don't forget, when we are stitching this close to our faces, 8-10 inches away from our faces. Who looks at a stitching piece 8 to 10 inches away when it's on a wall? We just don't. We take a step back and we look from a distance. So I would imagine that once this piece is done, it will make, a lot more sense. And it seems crazy, but it will be, I think it'll be fine. What was else I was going to say about it? I was trying to dig Avarice out during the stream last night and I couldn't get it, but if I may have put it in my floss tube and talked about it again there to add some extra content, as it were, to it. So I say that because this is filmed before my floss tube. Film at this one on a Monday morning. I film my floss tube on a Monday lunchtime. The releases on Tuesday for my floss tube and Wednesday for this stitch with me. So, if I do remember, I'll get Avarice out for my floss tube. You may have already seen it. But anyway. Me and Andy also have a photo charting service that we run, where people can submit their own photographs, the ones which they've taken that they hold the copyright to or have permission to convert, and we will convert them into cross-stitch patterns. And it's the same story really with that, because sometimes people come back to us and say, these colours really don't make sense. And we're like, yeah, but if you complete the actual area of stitching and then look back, you'll see it does, because the pattern has picked up those colours to add depth and dimension. It's a tricky thing, charting patterns, and there'll always be, that question mark about how the colour balance works. But yeah, happy to answer that one. Got personal experience, and I know that some of the others who were in the live stream also did have personal experience too. And I do believe that that is the end of my comments. And we still have a little more time to go. So it's been a bit of a slower stitch, this one today. Been a few colour changes, and of course, I'm reading off. But yeah, this one is a bit more tricky to do, because of the tightness of this 20 count fabric, which I kind of wasn't expecting really, but yeah. And as you can see, pushing in the needle has created a little sore spot on my finger. So I'll be glad when this one comes out of rotation so I can give my finger a rest. and I can't put a plaster over it because it's literally right on the bend of the finger, and it would just annoy me. So it's been quite cold here the last few days, and we've had some snow. It's turned into slush now, but still, for some reason it has been particularly cold, and I've struggled to stay warm. I can understand how difficult it will be for some people who have to make the heat or eat choice. Me and Andy are, we do have some money in credit with our energy provider, so we can cover extra heating expenses over this time of year, but still, we're lucky to have that. But yeah, it has been quite cold. My nose is cold. The end of my nose is cold. Anyway, on to other things. So weight loss, 3 stone 4 now lost, up to last Thursday, which would have been the 30th of November. And I got slimmer of the month again. I've had more slimmer of the week and slimmer of the month than anything. This Thursday, though, I am out on my work's Christmas meal, and then I'll be going to my weigh-in. So I will be keeping it light. And hopefully I'll see another loss. But if I just maintain, I'm more than happy with that, because it's not a gain, is it? And I still plan just to keep ploughing on, keep doing it into the new year. The health and the physical benefits have been tremendous so far, and they can only get better, can't they? I mean, pace for pace, I'm keeping up with Andy with walking and stuff, which I wasn't doing before. I'm sleeping better. Getting up, sitting down, things like, and it sounds ridiculous, putting my shoes on is no longer difficult. A walk to the tram stop is not a problem. There's so many goods, it far outweighs the bads in my weight loss, which is, I mean, I don't even think I've found a bad, because I'm not having to buy new clothes because they're all still in my wardrobe. I never got rid of my thin clothes. I suppose the only bad thing is I keep wearing out pairs of trainers. Because I'm doing that much extra walking. Excuse me. Okay. Let's see how many stitches I've done so far. Not bad. Do a few more and then we'll call this one a day. And like I said, I've got a floss tube and potentially an unboxing to film today if I can. I have time. Because I'm so excited to share it. And I'm getting another Gecko Rouge at Christmas because Andy's ordered one for my Christmas present. I have no clue what it is. He's just gone onto the website, scrolled through, all of a sudden stopped and went, aha, that's the one. 25 count fabric, is it, dear? And that was that. The PDF and stuff have come through and it's been saved. But I don't have access to that because Andy's sort of got it himself. Because I don't want to know what it is until Christmas morning. And he will then send me the PDF. If the kit's not here, he'll send me the PDF. And then that's another one that will stack up for the year of the gecko. I'm quite looking forward to that in 2024. Not 2025. Not that I'm wishing 2024 away. But some Gecko Rouge new starts in 2025. It gives me lots of impetus to get some good progress done on these pieces in the upcoming year. I just wish I could stitch as fast as some people that I've seen on YouTube and Facebook and what have you. I mean, I thought I stitched fairly fast until I saw Kamari's November update video where she'd done just shy of 60,000 stitches in a month. So that's an average of 2,000 a day for a 30-day month. You know, I think her lowest stitching day she did 700 and something, and the highest stitching day she did 3,000. I was like, holy moly, 3,000? If I did 3,000 stitches in one day, I wouldn't stitch again for another couple of days because I'd just be mentally drained. I'd be burnt out. So my stitch rate is office days between 300 and 400 on average per day, which isn't a lot. Work from home days between 500 and 1,000 depending on what else I've got on. Mondays tend to be a less stitching day because I have a supermarket shop to do and one or two other odds and ends. Fridays do tend to be better because I film a stitch with me in the morning and I don't go anywhere on a Friday. I have no supermarket or anything like that. So Fridays do tend to be a better stitching day. And then Saturdays and Sundays, depending on if there's overtime, I can do usually upwards of 1,000. I've done 1,500, I've done 2,000 on a weekend day. But usually it's bobs around about, 1,100 mark, I think. This year I was saying on my live stream, so far I've done something like 245,000 stitches. Previous year I did bordering on 400,000. I aim to do 1,000 a day, which I more than achieved. So this year my aim was to do 500 a day, which I've more than achieved. These are averages, of course. I mean, if Komari is doing 60,000 stitches a month, it means she's doing well over 700,000 stitches a year. And that's a lot of stitches. And I'm just in awe of the amount that she can get done. It's just superb. I think she's definitely got the hang of pattern keeper now. Right. I'm almost ready. I need to take my leave. And I do hope that you've enjoyed this stitchy session. A couple of reminders. Top right hand corner, you see how I start and end my threads video, my lazy method. 3 videos appearing on your screen. If you haven't watched them, please do go take the time to do so. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. It is free. And if you press the notification bell and tap select all, you'll be notified every time I upload a video or indeed go live. If you do wish to join on the live stream and participate in the chat, you will need to be a subscriber to do so. And of course, all my live streams will be available on replay afterwards. So I'm just going to do a final mark off and tot up how many I've done. That's not bad. 160 stitches in just over an hour, which is just fine by me. I'm not sure what that is. Is that lips? Let me just have a look. Doesn't make sense to me at the moment. Yes, so this is Cupid's bow here, and that's the middle and bottom lip. You can see it there on the mock-up. That looks quite nice, doesn't it? I'm quite pleased with that. Right, so I'm going to clear off. So thanks very much indeed, everybody, for watching. Take care, happy stitching. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.